Alright, what's up guys? It's Frank again here with more quarterfinals of the Aureil Stormgate Invitational 2nd edition. And here we've got MC versus Scan on Broken Crown starting us off. So we don't see... we see a lot of very vocal and very passionate opinions about the state of Vanguard versus Celestial in the current patch right now. Just because of the... I think it's the Hedgehog that got a nerf, and I think that was just to differentiate it, so it's not an out and out, just a straight up better version of the EXO. It's I think a lot of people were kind of concerned that the Hedgehog fills so many roles right now. It's got a lot of mobility because it's very quick. It has quite a bit of burst just because of the way the rockets on the top of the vehicle work. And it's great anti-heavy, so it's kind of rough to face up against. And if you have anything that's anti-light, well, a lot of the anti-light units that can be made are either further along in the tech tree or their melee range. So the Hedgehogs can either just they don't let the game get to that stage, or they can just kite whatever it is that's going to be coming after them. All right, we are going to see Scans Scout doing a bit of damage here to the power bank. Wait, did we get... No. Yeah, every time a new command is issued for the dog, even as the observer, we hear the panting German Shepherd sound effect. I like it. Okay, we are going to see a creation chamber coming down here pretty quickly. No messing around. Throws down a Starforge right in the face of Scan just to say, like, hey, I'm building this, and he was making it with a yeah. And then Scan leaves and then comes back just to make sure that he wasn't getting faked out there. But no, the Starforge does finish, and we see a Vector coming out. Man, that's quick. An Ascension Matrix coming down as well. Yeah, and it's getting built quite quickly, so I think we're gonna see the recall here pretty soon. But is he building a counter to these Vectors yet? We see a couple of mech bays. I think he does want to start getting Hedgehogs out as quickly as possible, but Hedgehogs, I think, are not going to be the answer that he wants for... Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me pause this real quick. I don't have you... Here we go. Let's mute Stormgate and headphones output. Okay. Now everybody can hear you. You're live.
So just a question that I kind of want to ask is, the game has a lot of anti-heavy, but like there's not really anti-light, right?
The anti-light that shows up seems to be later in the tech tree, like Hornets or I mean, what race do you play?
I mean, I just play whatever. I don't really play a specific race.
I gotcha. Yeah, the anti-light seems to be... It's there, it's just later in the tech tree, like Gravens or... Gravens, Hornets. I'm blanking on the Infernal anti-light right now. Well, I guess... go ahead.
So does it mean, though, that, like, in general, that it's better to have light? Like, for the most part? Because there's anti-heavy?
Yes and no.
Like, it's not like Zero Space where you have like a medium and a heavy and a light, so there's like a chance that like you
right that
have it.
The 3 armor types in Zero Space does seem to make it a bit more rock paper scissory. I guess it really depends. It's not categorically always bad to have heavily armored units, just because, like, case in point, these dogs are gonna chew through these vectors. And they're such a low cost that they can surround the vectors. They're still going to get picked off because they themselves are light, but it doesn't matter because they trade so much more efficiently. Whereas, like, if you're facing a really Like, let's say you're facing someone that has some Vulcans, and they've got like 3 Vulcans and a bunch of Bobs, and they're going to show up to your doorstep. Well, the Vulcans are anti-light. They do terribly against heavily armored units. Granted, they do have like insane damage output potential, but I think there's still room for heavy units in the game. It's just knowing where to position them in a fight, especially Lancers. Like, Lancers are tanky as well as being heavily armor tagged, but the fact that they do so much damage against like Fiend Swarms, and they don't take that bonus damage from Gaunts is super nice. So there's a place for both armor types. It's just, it does feel weird to me that doing more damage to lightly armored units happens later in the tech tree. Like, to me, anti-heavy armor seems like something that would happen later in a tech tree, just like logically speaking. Like, you would think that anti-tank rounds in a traditional any kind of RTS, like that, tier 1 would be like basic infantry units, tier 2 would be like vehicles and armor, and then tier 3 would be anti-armor, and then your tier 1 units would then counter that anti-armor to create that rock paper scissors interaction. But that's not the case in Stormgate. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it would be better with 3 armor types, or?
So, I mean, I like the 3 armor type system in Zero Space more, and I like the way that you sort of have like, slight changes in how it comes out. But like, kind of, I agree with you more. Just in general, to me, it feels weird that Heavy's kind of like has all these counters kind of early, and that, like, Light doesn't really seem to have it. So like, it feels like that, like most of my games end before it matters. So it's like, I just feel like that, like, having heavy units seems to lose my game.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel.
I play like Company Heroes, like armor rush is like a thing that tends to give you an advantage for at least a period of time.
Yeah, and it's almost the exact opposite in Stormgate, where like, tier 1 units, the Argent is anti-heavy, the Exos are anti-heavy. Whoa! Oh! And they teleport back just in time to avoid getting splattered by the Vulcans. By the way, I can't tell if they've done visual upgrades on the Vulcans or not, but or if I've just gotten used to them, because I didn't like their bubbly design at first, but they've really grown on me. At first I was like, all right, it's Diva with a minigun, but they're actually starting to look cooler the more and more I watch them play.
MC always does like these skill checks where he's always like trying to like push people and see if if they're out of position or they can micro wrong.
Yeah.
Like and Control feels like he always like knows that it's going to happen before it happens. So like, I think if you like, Control can just sit and get further ahead, and while MC's doing like these skill checks.
Yeah, it's I have noticed that MC doesn't. Oh wait, how many does he have here? It's 1, 2, 3, 4 arrays. Going for a 5th here soon. So he's not shy about expanding past 3 arrays, but we have seen some Celestial players in the past. Yeah, here we go. Like, those dogs, they're so inexpensive, and they can just like, they almost cut off this ramp here for MC. But he did manage to teleport out. But he burned that teleport. That now means that he can't use it to maneuver around this army if he wants to fight. And I think that's the one of the big hidden values of dogs, is just that they can force. They're so inexpensive that they're basically like little body block units that just swamp down the rest of your army, which is, it's cool. It's cool that there's units that do that. And they're not that expensive, but
like when they're on like 5 arrays, I feel like that they're on like 2.5 base economy. Like, it's like weird.
yeah.
I don't feel like that they're, so they get like a small lead right away, but then like they usually just spend it on power, and they like never have a unit.
Yeah, that is interesting that there's so much power available for MC right now, and it's not like he's lacking in production, but it all seems to be tied up in Star Forges. We don't see any Legion Halls, and there's just one creation chamber out right now. I think I think if he mixed in some Kree into this composition, it would be really good just have something that can keep up with the speed of the hog dog composition that we have right here. Because right now, yeah, I mean, the scan is just going to walk forward and say, "Hey, I've got the Vulcans for your vectors, and I've got hedgehogs for your sabers. So you got to do something." And being aggressive with something as fast as the Kree, just to do like run bys in the base or something, just to keep scan at home maybe a little bit and kind of out of his face might be beneficial. But no, we're gonna see these. We are gonna see these hedgehogs jumping on top of the sabers, maybe. But it looks like he wants to use them to keep doing damage to the vectors, which is a little puzzling to me, just because they don't do that bonus damage. They're wasted potential here. There we go. Now they're gonna jump on top of all these sabers, and the supply count for MC is really going down. But the reinforcements for Scan are taking a little bit to show up, just because Broken Crown's a tad bit bigger than he wants probably. So he's just gonna park his remaining units over here on the health camp. Actually, I've seen, who is it? It's not Grimmy. It might be JXP. Oh no, it's Thanks. Thanks is an absolute PhD when it comes to sentry post placement. And whenever I see Vanguard players putting a sentry post in here with like the Repair-O-Matic, the Bob inside, so that way they can heal up their mech composition. Everything else gets the passive heals, and like they can just heal up like a lot faster, and then continue the aggression. It's really cool to see that, but it kind of seems like people building forward Repair-O-Matics and sentry posts has gone out of style, and I don't know why.
I don't know. I feel like MC is like a big F2 player.
You think?
Even in StarCraft he was.
I don't. I didn't follow as many.
Like,
The only pro player that I followed in StarCraft was well, one in StarCraft 2 was like Parting, Rogue, Dark, Cyril, of course, and like the big names.
So,
but
like basically like the build kind of came down to, though, like he tried to rush and get his Vulcans out. Once he had two Vulcans out, he just like pushed out and tried to punish MC. And then since then he's just like he's kind of just babysitting like the Vulcans is kind of what he's doing. Like, so I wonder if MC will like try and play.
Oh, there it goes.
The Argent style.
Excuse me.
Try
All right.
and have a stronger army.
Yeah, there's the GGs. All right. Interesting. We are seeing Vanguards hit back against Celestials. I know there's been a lot of chatter in the Vanguard chat in the Discord server that Vanguard is straight up like worse than Celestial these games, but Scan is going to go up by 1 in this best of 5.
I feel like that it's hard to like know exactly where the balance is, because I think on some maps it could be flipped.
You think it's a lot more map dependent?
Yeah, because like the hard thing with like the Vanguard, when I played it, I had this feeling that like I was just getting ran around, and so like having like a nice clean path that I could move the hedgehogs around to defend things meant that I just didn't get kind of like just harassed to death early. So I think that if you had something that was like that prevents you from going between like your main and your third base, I think that it's hard for the Vanguard player.
Yeah. See, now if this was KR Bob, he would know exactly when this is gonna hit, you know, 350 or whatever, and body block. Took a couple extra, took a few more shots than he needed to, I think. Whoa! Oh! Just making sure to be as annoying as possible with that one scout.
I have the feeling that Control is grinding harder than most of the other players too.
What makes you say
I
that?
think that he would. Just because like he's pinging, like all the time, whether he's looking for players. So where I don't see too many other players, kind of just like, hey guys, I want to play. Where are you? Like type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that's basically his only option if he wants to find similarly skilled players, because the ladder right now is it's a bit in some rough shape. No one wants to like just crush a noob, and it's like, yeah, you still get a victory, you still might get one MMR, but it's not like, it's almost not even worth your time to do it, just because like you're not getting any better, and like crushing a noob doesn't, you know, it doesn't help anyone do anything. It's like, okay, I just win. Oh. Do you know what the what the number of hits is that you want to tank with a scout if you want to be annoying and make sure that the Celestial player doesn't grab 4 out of 5 slimes?
I have no idea.
It's 3 hits. If your scout can run by and take 3 hits from a Sovereign's Watch, then Celestial player will only kill 3 out of 5 slimes, not 4.
That's funny.
Not that it matters. Kree already comes out, takes care of the last slime, and captures the health camp. Oh, interesting. He's looks like he's walling off this ramp. Did he already see the Guardian Nexus? No. Oh yeah, he might have already seen the Guardian Nexus with his scout, so he's expecting Kree, which themselves are light.
It's interesting that because MC tried to skill check him a few times last game, and then like it didn't work out. So MC's going to like a more heavy sort of setup for timing approach now.
Yeah.
By going with the Kree rather than the.
Oh no! See, now I think he should have stayed on the health camp there, and just like, if you can fight on your own passive health camp, like that's so good. But instead, no, now he's got to fight in the middle of all of his bobs. His bobs have to do the heal hugs. And yeah, now he's trying to like dislodge Kree out of his worker line. I think it would have been better to take that fight right here when he still had the health camp.
I think it still is bad for him, even with it.
Yeah.
If he had like one Crusader there with the dogs, I think he could fight there.
Wait, let's see here. What's the
I like how MC, like the moment that he feels like he has an army advantage, he takes the camps across the map and forces like a kite back.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. That is cool.
Even though he didn't get it, I like that he tried for it.
Yeah. And kind of to answer your point earlier, like now you've got me thinking, like, okay, so now that Kree are out and it's a good anti-light unit and Hogdog composition is all light armor, I like the fact that it's now Lancers being built. It's Lancers that are like, all right, hey, if you want to get into melee and you do bonus to light, I'll just build these super tanky, heavily armored units that do like a small AoE right in front of him. So he's got, I think there is still some good interplay between the armor types, but I think if there was a medium armor type, I think it'd be interesting to experiment with. I don't know how that would if that would just turn into like too much depth, you know what I mean? You've got like too many details per unit.
Like for me in Zero Space, like it just kind of felt like that I just try it out, and then when I'm wrong, I'm just like, ah, well that doesn't work, you know.
Yeah.
like I like having more options, just because it means that I don't get so hard, you know, just skill checked by micro, because that's where I feel like really good players are always gonna win. And
Yeah.
I really don't feel like I ever have an option. Like the micro here that Control is doing is so crazy.
Yeah.
It's like what should MC do differently? It's like he's getting like really good surface area, but he's like kiting with just like one lancer at a time. It's like I don't even know what MC should do to not have that problem.
Argents. You should use Argents.
Argents.
The Cabal though, yeah. Once the Cabal are out and they're starting to lift up some of your DPS units, that's when things get really interesting. But now it's oh no, he's still got power banks back here. I was gonna say, like, once these power banks run out of energy and the Cabal can't come back and recharge for free all the way up to the top, then it becomes a little bit trickier because, you know, what's a Cabal gonna do? Fight with its little angry flashlight attack? Yeah, 2 damage. Wait, what's the... I don't know, so it's still 8 damage per second, but...
I still like that MC moved the anchor forward to try and force him to fight before he could get up to anti-light tech again.
Yeah.
So I like that he moved, and I like it prevents like roaming, it prevents the ability to buy time for the Vanguard.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure that gets added. Oh, this entire... Never mind the worker line, that entire base is going to go down here pretty soon, but looks like MC's Southern Force is going to try and, like, hold off the Hedgehogs as long as it can, but I don't know if that's going to be long enough for him to focus down that command post and still work. But these the Kree with the rollout are actually going to come on forward, and they're all going to focus that one Hedgehog. There's a Repair-O-Matic. Oh, Repair-O-Matics are so good. Yeah, that command post is kind of done for. I'd say just chill.
Why they don't use it, and he's using it, and I think he's going to lose the game.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you build it, you need to actually, like, stay next to it so it's healing your stuff. Like, look at that. Look how fast it's healing the that Hedgehog. Whoop. Already done. Actually, that's something else, too, that that's pretty interesting. He's using... I know that Frost Giant has done a lot of work in making sure that static defense isn't overly strong, but ever since the holiday hotfix, the fact that you can, like, infinitely solar charge a sentry post or a flat cannon or whatever, and that way it's getting... I mean, it is diminishing returns with each solar habitat that you tell it to go for, but that DPS increase is pretty wild to watch. I don't know. Did you see that? Did you see that short that they put out where it's like, it's a single flat cannon, but it's surrounded by something like 12 solar habitats or something crazy?
Yeah, I saw it and I didn't understand what I was looking at.
Yeah, it's all...
It was kind of like a thing where I looked at it, it's like... I looked at it like 3 times and was like, okay.
Alright, so we are going to see... Yeah, this is going to be like, alright, come on, Kree, if you really want to tangle, there's the Vulcan for you.
He has the 3 Vulcans out, so it's like, now his army's trying to scale, but he doesn't... He's not able to force a fight anymore.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, I think this fight just ends the game. I think that they lift up the Vulcans.
Yeah. Yeah, Cabal are really good. Yep, and there's the GG from Scan. MC goes up to tie up the series.
I like that MC though flipped exactly what he was doing to like the exact opposite of what he did last game.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's always nice to see people that aren't like completely married to one build order.
So I'd be curious to see if the opener is kind of similar for the Vanguard, but he just rushes to get Yeah, the Vulcan's a bit faster this game.
Yeah. Boop. How is that going expansion first? Interesting. But he does want Lancers out on the field. I wonder if that's just because he wants to start doing more creeping this game. If he wants to start creeping earlier this game.
This map, like the blink end of the natural is so like oppressive that I think that
You think it's gonna be
because it
vectors?
just goes after your Therium over and over and over again. I wouldn't be surprised if he just builds like static defense kind of down at the choke between the main and the third base.
Oh, like right here?
Yeah, kind of in that area, like, and then MC goes vectors again, because like I think that's just what MC prefers to do.
Two Lancers hitting all 5 slimes at once is pretty cool. Lancers are so good, dude.
Yeah, there's like an upgrade on him, but people seem to delay the upgrade, and I've always wondered why.
The kinetic redirection?
The let me pull up my notes.
Is it the one that makes them, like, every time they get hit, they move faster, or is it the one that is just like a static damage decrease?
It's the straight damage decrease.
Yeah, that's their tier 3 upgrade, and I think they have to get kinetic redirection first before they can even unlock it.
Okay.
And I don't see the biokinetics lab out yet. It is kinetic redirection by itself though is still so good, but I think it's knowing whether or not you want to commit to Lancers that's a really big deciding factor here. Especially because like we talked about earlier, there's just so much anti-heavy. Like every faction has so many anti-heavy tools so early on that you don't necessarily know that you want to invest more into Lancers if they're countered that hard so early in the game. But if your opponent, techs out of anti-heavy and goes more like to an anti-light or composition, that maybe suddenly Lancers get good again as the game progresses.
Did MC just drop 2 Star Forges?
No, those power banks, yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of, okay, so we do see the photocapacitors going down, which means that he is going to be leaning a little bit more into Argents this game. He just needs to build them. There we go. There's a couple of Argents. Yeah, he knows that the Lancers are at the front door here. He's got to build some kind of anti-heavy, and throwing down the power bank is going to make sure that they stay charged up throughout the fight. It's just a question of whether or not they'll survive to use up all the energy from those power banks. Yeah, Sirens. I think he could have gotten that array actually. Yeah, and the Lancers are doing a fantastic job of scaring away the Kree. They're like, all right, fine. If you want to fight, let's fight. And 2 Hedgehogs, I think, are going to be enough to be scary to the Argents here. Yeah, we're already going to see 1 Argent going down, maybe 11 HP. 1 shot and he's dead.
I still don't think that this is like anywhere near game ending. I almost think this is still like good for MC to set up to just counter right after.
You think? What does he defend with though? Like, he's getting chased all the way back into his main. I think he's out of Sovereign's Watches right now.
Just like the energy. Like the units just aren't that good.
Well, we do see a couple of creation chambers going down here. I don't know if they
Oh, that sucks. You just didn't move the prisons.
yeah, like you just move them to the other side, but
whole prison thing. I'm not here with you, you're here with me.
Yeah, you're locked in here with me. Such a good line. Oh, and down goes the Guardian Nexus, so that means no more Kree. It's just going to be pure Argent from here on out. And actually, yeah, the Argent's staying right next to the power banks is going to be really nice. All right, time for me to eat crow. I thought for sure that he was that Scan just had this in the bag straight up, but looks like MC can keep it for just a little bit longer. Yeah, no way that Aureil makes it out alive. But yeah, these Argents are just going to be...
only one base, and so it's not like he's so far ahead. Because like power is almost like half of your income, and MC has a ton of power.
He's got a ton of power, but it won't mean anything if he doesn't have the charges. Like I think he already maxed out, or rather he's down to 0 charges for Sovereign's Watch. Like he literally just can't cast it right now, which sucks. Like what does he do? His production's almost all gone. Actually, he's still got 2 creation chambers back there, but like he's stuck on. Oh no, he can make Kree again, and Kree are going to be the answer to these hedgehogs. But again, his production's just getting picked off so quickly.
I think on the other side though, like he's being slightly more cost efficient. So like I still think that control still has to expand before this game ends.
You think so? Oh no, yeah, he's... Ooh, that strike note's gonna make a huge difference. And I don't know, like, I think he knows that that MC is like on 2 arrays right now, and 2 arrays and
2 arrays is like 1 base mining.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
Here we go.
So MC is mining like half as fast, but it's over like 2 bases. I bet that like the main's already like mining at like 8 workers right now.
This one?
Yeah.
12 out of 12.
12 out of 12. Okay. It feels like I always feel like I'm running out of the main really fast before I can do anything.
Yeah. Goodbye Kree. And again, making him like stay on Argents, which is where the hedgehogs shine, and that's going to be GG from MC. All right, Scan's up 2-1.
What do you think MC should have done differently last game?
I think MC should have done differently last game. I think building more strike nodes on like high ground stuff would have prevented a lot of the hedgehog run bys and just the threat of like, hey, if you want to come in with your hypermobile units, that's fine, but every time that you duck in, you're going to take damage. I think that's an option that he wouldn't be able to have with just Kree, just because the Kree will like, they'll never catch the hedgehogs, and like the Argents will get just nuked to death by the hedgehogs. But yeah, I don't know. I think also keeping a lot of maybe keeping a lot of tech up in the main would have been good, or walling off his ramp would have been good, just to because of the prime feature that Celestials have. Like you can still keep a proxy creation chamber somewhere else on the map and create counter pressure. You don't have to have like a wide open ramp to get your units down. Like just build somewhere else. Or I know vectors weren't really an option for him, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think he should have done?
I think if he saves the prisms, I think that might have been close enough to to hold. Like I was already thinking that he was in a good enough spot to hold, even with losing like the 2 prisms and an array. So I think it could have just been just simple enough that if he kept the prisms alive, he might have been able to produce enough argents to hold. I don't know.
Yeah. The Hedgehogs definitely really liked going back to that, where that triangle third was. I don't know that even if they... I think he could have held on to the prisms a little bit longer just to help with resourcing. But even sending them off to like some Luminite camp, like, you know, if he was here, sending them off to the Ninja Luminite camp would have kept them alive and producing just a little bit longer. But yeah, I don't know. His being stuck on 2 arrays for so long versus a 1 base Vanguard that was like heavily invested into Hedgehogs is just, I don't know. How do you mess with that? I know a lot of people were saying that like the Celestial Eco is just crazy right now. In the sense that it's, you know, if it gets too late, it's almost like playing whack-a-mole with the arrays. But he never really got up to that critical mass. Like he maxed out at like 3 arrays and a couple of prisms. So I don't know that he ever really like got to the point where he could be annoying and hiding arrays all over the map. I think that early game pressure and getting that early game victory of killing off an array helped him a ton.
Yeah. And I don't know, because of the arc, like the way that the map's shaped, once you get into the main, like you were saying, it just makes it so hard to defend your third. So I don't know. Like, maybe if he does wall up, maybe that's the difference. I feel like in this game, it's so hard to have structures matter. Like you can't, I don't know. It feels like all the structures just become more of a liability than ever.
In terms of SimCity, or...
Yeah, just in terms of like giving you some sort of defensive advantage.
Yeah.
It's not like most games that I tend to play, like you know, the SimCity matters as much as the micro.
Yeah, it does seem like I would actually say that the SimCity for celestial structures matters a ton, just because of the prime functionality where like if he throws down a Starforge like here, and then all of his production is coming out of this one Starforge, and he can just like flood vectors into this worker line and like camp the production. I think that's huge. But in terms of like blocking stuff off, yeah, it is kind of a tough judgment call. It's like, okay, do I really want my production structures to be the first thing that's taking damage? Well, look at your other options. You can put power banks there, but you don't want to do that because that's how you cast top bar spells, and that's how you like recharge your units that need energy. You don't want to put tech structures there just because they're so valuable, and you don't want to be denied a tech switch later on. Like what? There's not really a structure that's like just meant to sit there and take damage. Oh, nice pick off there. All right, so the vector rush, I don't know if I'd call it a rush, but vector pressure anyway is going to be maybe grabbing some bob kills here. I think they're all set to heal hug mode though, so it's going to be a lot tougher to pressure them. There's not enough energy to do a bob overcharge, so they're not going to be getting that bonus armor. A couple of these high veterancy hedgehogs. No, the veterancy 3-1 lives. Well, I say that, and right when I say that, he dies. But yeah, all these vectors just taking these hedgehogs to task, and that's it. Super short game, GG. So now they're tied up at 2. I forgot to set that. Whoops. All right, Scan going for an expand first, which is nice. Okay, so for the Aureil rules are that Jagged Maw is allowed in the tournament on the condition that Morph Core Rush is illegal for the tournament. Now I don't know exactly like if there's a time specifically. It's like, hey, any Morph Core Rush before 5 minutes or whatever. But Do you think that there could be some kind of something that Frost Giant could do to the map to prevent Morph Core rushes that would make it so that there doesn't have to be house rules? Like, some people were tossing out the idea of like throwing aerial terrain, like storm clouds or something that are impassable, or like purely hostile missile turrets right here that'll attack both sides if they try to overfly, like hostile missile turrets here.
Yeah, that's like old school scenes here, Mech Commander, where they'd have static structures that would nuke certain things.
Would you prefer that, or would you prefer impassable air terrain?
You know, I'm the wrong person to ask. I don't like air units at all. I'd rather just that they don't even have them.
No air units? No flying units?
Yeah.
Man.
Units. Like I don't like it. I think it takes away from like the terrain and all the cool things that terrain has in the game.
Hmm. Yeah, it is interesting that like because they can ignore cliffs and like literally every kind of impassable terrain, that positioning around a ramp or positioning around terrain doesn't matter as much anymore. But I don't think we've seen any compositions that are just solely air, and because air still needs to support ground, or they still need to like mesh well. You still don't want to be like having your, I've never noticed that tumbleweed before. I don't think you want to have like your aerial units out of position relative to your army. You know, like if you've got helicarriers in the front line, something's wrong. But you still want them to be like positioned well so that when they do a bombing run, that they're getting like a good, because like the bombing runs go in a rectangle, you want them to be along the axis. Like you want to have the best axis possible for their bombing run. So I think there is still some. It's not just like air units aren't as a movie as they may have been in like other RTSs, where it's like, hey, all these units just auto attack a single target and that's it.
Once I start getting like a few games on the ladder in a row with air, usually I just stop playing it. It's just not for me.
Fair enough. To each their own. What are your thoughts on creeps and creep camps in you know today's Stormgate and O.2?
Like I think that the way that they're positioned, I don't like the way that they set up. So like they're kind of off to the corners of the map, so you end up like not fighting over them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And there's not like a good way to like, other than like you have like this racial imbalance where like Infernals can like put buildings at them and sort of defend them. So like it ends up turning into like this passive thing where just nothing happens because of them in general. I don't know. So it's like I don't know what they're supposed to do, but to me it just tends to turn the game into like making it more passive.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that agree with you there, and that's why Ruination, like so many people were so glad about what Ruination did when it was first added. Is it had like these really valuable camps, the two Luminite camps, more towards the center, and it had that Vision camp like smack dab in the center, because then it was forcing the players to come together and fight over them. Oh man, what is holy aggression? Wait, this is great.
But
yeah, Argent's shooting water balloons at a Vulcan. Like, what is happening in this game?
Argents are weird though, because like they don't have to have the DPS. They just have to make the person micro. Yeah.
All right, MC takes it 3-2. Series that went the distance. That I think a lot of that reason the attack worked was because of this primed structure and like these
Yeah,
two.
he got gotcha'd, which kind of sucks for
Yeah,
control because he doesn't get to show how talented he is in like these last gotcha game.
yeah. I don't know. Do you think another tool that I don't see a lot of vanguards using is the sentry post with a dog inside of it that essentially becomes a vision camp, which is huge. Like, have you seen the radius of the vision camp on this map? It's massive.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah.
So like, imagine a dog inside of a sentry post, which is essentially that, and you put it like right here or something, so that way you can see like, hey, are they coming around from this side of the map? Are they, does he have a creation chamber proxied there? But the flip side of that is, do you want to throw the investment of Luminite into something that can't move on top of a dog, which you normally want active on the map to be like scouting out where their army is, and do you want to like just plop that inside of a sentry post for the sake of having basically your own vision camp that never resets? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, so this game's kind of weird because he didn't really take any camps, um, and he rushed like an expansion, and MC just like kept it so that he didn't have time to take camps after that. So like I think if he'd taken camps earlier, then what you're saying could work, but like I just don't think he has the income without taking camps.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think this was do you think that Scan like needed to expand first, or do you think that was just greed and he got caught and punished? Or was this just standard and like, hey, the proxy went unscouted and
so kind of like the same problem that we had the other game, where like you wanted to like wall off to keep him from getting into the high ground. I think that he kind of was trying to do the same thing here. So he was trying to get a lot of structures and basically make it really hard for MC to get through, and he did anyways. So like I think that he was trying to do what you were saying, and I think it just didn't work out. So
yeah. Maybe if he built like a mech bay right here or something like that, or like built the wall upwards this way, so that way his units would have to zigzag around. But the production over here seems a little bit random to me. But what do I know?
yeah, I'm not too sure. Like this is kind of like the thing where I feel like the structures sometimes hinder you, sometimes they help.
Yeah.
And so I it feels like that like once the Vulcans are out, he has to like target fire pretty quickly the Kree and get the Kree all dead.
Yeah, or else they start just massacring the Bobs.
But they came out one in like two different. They came out and he had one like at his natural, one at his main, and the one at the natural is firing all the Argents, and then the Kree just went to town, and it's like, if he might, I don't know if that's actually ideal. It's really hard to say. Like, this is why like I don't really understand. Like I said, I feel like when I play this game I understand least like what I should actually be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's it for this best of 5. Let's go on to the next series. GG's, guys.